once Scott sits down, she's going to do a tutorial. As soon as Scott sits down, we're going to get a tutorial because we have to use the mics tonight.
And
See, now you need a tutorial.
and we are streaming this, just so y'all know, the reason that the microphones are important is because we are streaming this, like we are live right now. And audio is always kind of an art to get into streaming. The easiest thing to do, I have found, for consistent audio is to simply pick up the microphone when you're going to talk, just like this. And that seems to alleviate a lot of the cutout, because if you're wearing it as a lapel mic, when you turn your head, it's out of the polar pattern that the microphone picks up. So that's generally the easiest thing to do.
There's a button on top. I didn't hear your. Did you?
Didn't know you did not.
You know it's there. It's on.
Test.
No.
What was that? Yes. Yeah, everything, like I said, that camera right there in the back, and then this gets integrated, the sound here gets integrated with the stream and goes out. It's just, the audio is always a little bit of an art to get out in the stream. So we're trying to make sure that we do the best we can with the audio.
Okay, thank you.
About right? I'm going to do that. Is everybody ready? Okay.
Yep.
Then at 7 o'clock, I'll call the Town of Shenango Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for August to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Walters?
Here.
Mr. White?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Brewster?
Here. Okay, we do have a quorum, so we may continue. First order of business tonight is to approve the minutes from our special meeting on August 7th. Anybody have any issues with those?
No, I was good.
Okay. If everybody's okay, I'll seek a motion to approve.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
And a second.
I'll support.
Okay, let's do a quick roll call on the minutes.
Mr. Walters?
Aye.
Mr. Miller? Oh, sorry. I'm going from a list. Mr. White?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Brewster?
Aye. Okay, minutes are approved. On to new business. We have 3 applications to receive and approve, possibly, tonight. The first one being 2025-V03, Thomas Pollack, an area variance to build detached garage in front of the principal use and a short EAF. So, how do we all feel about that application?
I'm just looking over a couple things.
Mm-hmm. I didn't notice this earlier until this afternoon. It looks like we did get some neighbor letters. I don't recall those being there when I looked. So that's an addition in case you didn't see that. Okay.
I do believe everything is complete from what I see here.
Feel free to move on that. If you do find it complete, we can have further discussion after the second.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, to send it to the planning board next month's meeting.
Would anybody support that?
I'll second that.
Okay. So we have a motion made and seconded to accept the 2025-V03 application, move it to planning, and then on to our September regular meeting.
Governance is important, right? Governance can, I think, frame.
Do we have any further discussion on any of the particulars of that application? Hearing none,
I'm good.
I'll call for the roll.
Mr. Walters?
Aye.
Mr. White?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Brewster?
Aye. Okay, section 3.2, application 2025-V04, Travis Blaise, double area variance, detached garage in front of the principal use and maximum height. You wouldn't be Mr. Blaise, are you? Oh, you are? Oh, okay. That was just a random guess. Only 2 more to go. So just for your info, in case you haven't, we don't do any discussion unless we see something that needs to be added or anything, but thanks for being here. So this application, how does it appear to everybody?
This one looks to be complete also, from
Okay.
what I can see. If anybody else sees something, feel free to.
Looks like we got drawings, we got photos. Seeker form 1. Land use. So I'll take the motion at any time.
I'll move that we accept it.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
All right, any further discussion? Okay, hearing nothing, let's do the roll call.
Mr. Walters?
Aye.
Mr. White?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Brewster?
Aye. Okay, so you're scheduled for the September meeting where we'll have the public hearing and so forth. We'll ask you questions about those 5 factors. We'll just kind of rehash things, let you talk about the project, things like that, and we'll move forward. Okay? Yeah, thank you. Okay, section 3.3, we have application 2025-V05, Edward McGowan Area Variance to create a buildable lot with less than required road frontage from 240 feet to 128 feet. And Nate, here's where I may not have this be 10 minutes because I have a question. If we find something in the code that I think needs to be interpreted, can we self-start that, or does that have to be brought forth by a citizen?
Well, you're all citizens of the town.
True.
But the code officer is the one who makes interpretations initially.
Okay.
And so if you have a question about an application, you should ask the code enforcement officer for clarity regarding that question, and then from there, I guess let's see what the code officer says.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Is this something that is a bulk area issue or a
Yes.
use issue?
Yes.
Do you want to not hide the ball here? What do
No,
you see?
that's, if I can talk about it, I'll
Yeah,
talk about
no,
it.
I think you can talk about it. Just
So, to be honest, I've been looking at another case in town, just casually looking at it, which has not come before us yet, but it's within another department of or board of the town. And as I was looking through that, thinking about things, and we came across this application, I think we've been, and we, meaning our board and all boards before us, have been doing this frontage thing incorrectly. Because our code, and I've searched the code, and I've searched lot, and I've searched width, and I've searched frontage, and our code is restricted to width. 80% of the time, 90% of the time, that coincides with frontage, but it's not necessarily true all the time. They have to conform to lot width. And this was, and the reason I'm bringing this up for, number one, this is staring at us. Number two, this other issue in town has not raised its head as to whether or not the certain project needs a variance for frontage under the premise that they satisfy width. And I believe that that case is more correct than what we've dealt with in the past. Sometimes in the past, it's been 1 for 1 and it's been fine, probably most cases. But as I look at this, and I think about all the past things we've done, we don't have a code restriction for frontage, like I said. We have one for width. So to come to that, I kept going down the rabbit hole as to, into, New York code and other just general interpretations of finding a lot width. And it's basically the arithmetic mean of the faces. So if you have a back width X and a front Y, it's X plus Y divided by 2, will give you your mean width, which is what is to be analyzed for code correctness.
So in other words, you're saying that you could have 50 foot of frontage, but your lot itself is 240 foot wide or greater, so that would still be acceptable into the town code.
I believe it would need to be greater. So the arithmetic mean would come out to be more than the requirement of 240 feet.
So 50 plus, what's 240? Like, what would the math look like on that? 'Cause, I mean, it's a calculation, right? So
Yeah.
50 plus 290, and the average of those.
Well, you'd have to get up to 4.
Oh, right,
480.
Yeah, right, okay.
Because you're gonna divide it by 2, correct?
Right. So the sum of the two faces and of the widths. So the widths are clearly defined in our code and every code on the planet, and we all know what that is. It's just the line at a right angle to the depth lines. So yeah, you would need the sum to be 480 or greater.
Yeah, so this is definitely a conversation to have with the code enforcement office, because, and then I think kind of reviewing comprehensively how has the town handled this in the past, because obviously our code officers have changed over time, to understand, what has the town's interpretation of the code been in the past. Because I think when it comes to interpretation, how we have treated it previously is instructive as to how we should be continuing to treat it going forward. Short of some particular pointed reason to, like, if it's blatantly wrong, that would be one thing. But if it's subject to reasonable interpretation because the town code doesn't define width in the definitions, and the code office has been saying width is frontage, if that's what they've been saying. I guess I've never nobody in the code office has asked me, hey, how does this work? So, you know, I am going with the past interpretations which Gavin had made previously as to the need for
Right.
variances on this.
Right, I understand, you know, past practice is what it is, so. So, okay. Then I'll take it upon an action item to have a conversation with our code officers at some point. In the meantime,
I just have one other thing to add to this. I'm
Sure.
just looking at the newer sheets here, and this one's just a plan development for, you know, PD, C zone. But, yeah, it's just the width, you know, and acreage, so. Interesting.
see, that's exactly what I was thinking as I went down another rabbit hole and all of a sudden linked the two together. And, you know, like I said, dove into the definitions.
Well, it does say, like in the ag district, you know, area, acre, you know, lot size for area 2 acres,
Yeah,
width 240.
uh-huh,
So then that comes to what the state, what you're basically saying is the state says you've gotta come up with a average width of the lot.
yes. Speaking of common practice, best practices, that was that interpretation that I found of how to do that. And I think it's fairly standard across most districts. There would clearly need to be a little bit more research done on it, but they are two separate items, frontage and width. That is one thing I learned. They can be the same. They usually are the same on a nice square lot, or darn close to it, that the front and the back and whatever you average together usually isn't gonna make it, no matter what.
Right, right.
Ironically, in this particular case, I did the math. 240.5. If I did it correctly, I'm not 100% sure of that, because the way the land goes, but
Right.
be that as it may, this is just moving this on to the next phase like we normally do. I just wanted to introduce that
Huh. It's
to you
interesting,
guys.
and it's something that I think I would spend a little time researching on myself, just for,
Mm-hmm.
you know, educational purposes, if anything.
Feel free. Yeah. Like I said, I stumbled across this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worthwhile again to move this forward, because the
Yeah.
code officer has clearly indicated that this is in need of a variance, suggesting that they're
Yeah.
probably interpreting width meaning frontage for a property.
Yep.
And then bring it up to them.
Yep. That sounds fair. That was my intent anyway. So are we okay to move this forward? Everybody, I kind of pulled the rug out from the review, but
I think everything is complete, and I will do a motion to pass this on to the planning board and then the public hearing next month.
okay.
I'll
Mr.
second that.
Okay, Mr. Smith with the second. And any further discussion? Not hearing any, please do the roll call for us.
Mr. Walters,
Aye.
Mr. White,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Brewster.
Aye. All right. That brings us to the end of our agenda. Does anybody have anything else for the good of the order?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, then. I'll seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Any nays? Under the presumption that we'll have all positives to adjourn? Nays, abstentions? All right, Town of Shenango Zoning Board has completed for the night.